We've got 12 games on this Monday slate around Major League Baseball, including a doubleheader in Atlanta between the Braves and the Padres, finishing out a 4-game set where Atlanta needs to start winning a few games. And again, DRS, starting to feel more like some of the attention shifts to the diamond as we get closer to Memorial Day, which is this upcoming weekend, and we only have a game a night maybe in the NBA playoffs, the NHL Stanley Cup postseason as well. Soon it becomes the summer. Soon the entirety of our focus is on MLB. So we fly through this daily diamond dash here on a Monday. The game we just discussed with Tom Vecchio, the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, late night in Los Angeles. Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the bump for the Dodgers, booked as a greater than $2 favorite. Tonight's total at 8.5. Joe Mantiply on the other side for Arizona. The Dodgers heavily favored. They won their final 3 games of a 4-game weekend set against Cincinnati.
Probably should be heavily favored as well. You take a look at Yamamoto on the mound. Last 100 batters over the previous month here. A walk percentage of 5%, which is very good. Strikeout percentage, 23%, which is very good. And you take a look at those ISO power numbers, 147, very good. And also weighted on base percentage at 259. The Diamondbacks, I like the lineup overall. But going up against Yamamoto, it doesn't really look great. You're taking a look at only looks like one guy over 180 ISO power number, and that's Jock Peterson at 246. He had a couple RBI props yesterday that did cash in. But outside of that, doesn't look like a great lineup. And then as we always turn it over here to the Dodgers, Mantiply, the left-handed pitcher on the mound today for the Diamondbacks, hasn't been all that bad. Last 30 days, he's only faced 34 batters, but he's got an ISO of 121 and a weighted on base percentage of 247. Even though I really like that Dodgers lineup, which, again, you're going to like that basically on a night-to-night basis, it probably leans towards the Dodgers winning this baseball game by run line and also keeping it low scoring with an under as well. Like a 4-2 outcome probably feels right at this point, but I would be surprised if the Diamondbacks won this game.
So when you look at the Dodgers, 49 games so far this season, they have been booked as a favorite in 47 of 49. Being a minus 235 moneyline favorite is not rarefied air for LA. On the run line, though, 26 and 23. Again, often laying a run and a half. Pretty good marks for LA. The hottest team in all of baseball, that's the New York Yankees, winners of 7 straight at home, favored today to make it 8 in a row. Minus 136 for New York, up in the Bronx, hosting the Seattle Mariners, a total at 7.5. Will the Yankees make it 8 straight wins on this Monday?
Probably so, and that lineup has really come under fire here for not performing all that great to start the season. Now, the big boys in the middle of that lineup, Aaron Judge, Stanton, as well as Juan Soto, have really come into their own. Now, let's take a look here at Logan Gilbert on the mound, right-handed pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. For the season, 222 batters he's faced, man, a 142 ISO, and a weighted on-base percentage of 257. Hasn't changed all that much in the past 30 days, where he's faced 122 total batters, a 139 ISO, and a weighted on-base percentage of 275. Now, he's been absolutely fantastic on the season and the past 30 days against left-handed batters. Now, sometimes it doesn't matter. Soto's one of those left-handed batters. He doesn't care who you are on the mound. He's going to dominate. But guys that could be effective, the Verdugos of the world, the Anthony Rizzos, and the Austin Wells, left-handed batters expected to be in this lineup along with Juan Soto. The question's going to be, Logan Gilbert over the first part of the season has done very well against right-handed pitching. But over the past 30 days, he's faced 56 of those right-handed batters, a 250 ISO, and a 346 weighted on-base percentage, which means Anthony Volpe, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton all have legitimate chances to go yard tonight. But let's flip it over to the other side. Marcus Stroman is a quality pitcher. He's been very good this season against right-handed batters, but he hasn't been very good at all against lefties. On the season, on 90 batters that he's faced from the left-hand side, a 280 ISO and a 395 weighted on base percentage. Let's take a look at the last 30 days. It actually gets higher, an ISO of 340 and a weighted on base percentage of 405. You're going to get, looks like 1, 2, 3, probably 4 left-handed batters in the lineup. The best of it is Cal Raleigh in the middle of that lineup as a catcher, a 242 ISO against right-handed pitching. He might have a legitimate chance to go yard tonight. But again, Yankees are the better team overall. I expect them to win. But Cal Raleigh might be a little RBI guy in the middle of that lineup today.
We showed you Aaron Judge and his offensive resurgence in the last 2 weeks as well, batting above 430, 7 home runs, 13 RBIs. He has the best RBI prop at minus 105 for today's game. The Red Sox got off to a great start this year, DRS, after a victory over San Francisco on May 1st. They were 18 and 13 From that point, Boston has dropped 11 of their last 16. The Rays, outside of Baltimore and New York, the only other team above 500 now in the American League East. And we have a virtual pick'em today at the Trop. Minus 112 for the Rays, minus 104 on the other side for the Red Sox. Total at 7.5.
Yeah, you're taking a look at that total at 7.5 and saying like, ooh, the Red Sox been hot on offense. Can they get it together today again? Maybe so, but also look where they're playing. We're no longer playing in Fenway. We're down in Tampa, and the Trop certainly runs hard to come by. And Tanner Houck is on the mound. Say no more. You don't look at Tanner Houck and say, oh, that's a game we're looking to fade him and go over. You look at his seasonal statistics, Ben. 235 batters faced, an 050 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 247. K rate, 24%. Walk rate under 5%. He has been absolutely phenomenal. So let's flip it over to the other side. Taj Bradley is a very talented young pitcher here for Tampa Bay. The question's going to be, we don't really have a big backdrop here. 44 batters faced over the past 30 days, but it's a 103 ISO power number and a weighted on base percentage of 261. Looks like it's going to be an under day at Tropicana Field.
A very interesting situation in this central focus. We go to Kansas City. The Royals, a home money line favorite at minus 118. Total at 9. Reese Olsen gets the start on the other side for Detroit. He is 0-4 this year. All right, bad. 0-4, but with a 2.09 ERA. Yeah. In fact, he has made 8 starts. The Tigers have lost 7 of the 8, but not because of Olsen. He has been sensational. In the last 3, he has given up only 1 earned run in his last 3 starts, and the Tigers have scored 5 runs in total in those 3 games. Will Detroit finally back up their boy in Reese Olsen today in KC?
I think they can, and also you're right. The last 30 days, 116 batters faced, an 0.20 ISO and a weighted on base percentage of 174 and a K rate of 23%. They should be right in this ball game. You take a look at the Detroit lineup tonight. Waka does struggle with left-handed batters. You'll get a couple of those in the lineup. Riley Green, Wenzel Perez, and Kerry Carpenter should be on your RBI list for shots tonight here, Ben.
Gotta be the time for the Tigers, even against our guys in KC. Even money on that money line. A few more MLB games to preview and best bets next. A battle of the birds today under the arch in St. Louis. It's the Cardinals hosting the Orioles, where St. Louis needs to start winning some games if they are going to reach what the expectation has been in the Lou for a very long time when it comes to the Redbirds. The preseason National League Central favorites still well below 500, but booked as a favorite at home today against the American League's second best team. That's Baltimore. Why? Sonny Gray is on the bump for St. Louis. Will it be a great day in St. Louis against Baltimore?
I don't know. Like Sonny Gray, first, like I would say, month and a half of the season, basically, as opposed to the past 2 starts, was fantastic. Hasn't been all that great as of late, and that's not the team that you want to be stumbling around with when you're going to take on the Orioles. And also keep in mind, we got 83 degrees today in the Lou, and the total probably could be on your radar because that ball should be traveling. But if you're looking at Sonny Gray, seasonal statistics look good. The last 30 days, a little bit more troublesome. Now let's flip it over to the other side. Dean Kramer on the mound, who hasn't been all that bad this year. You're looking at a guy that's supposed to be factored in as like your 3rd, 4th, or maybe 5th option on the mound. He's got a 196 ISO, which is a little bit elevated, but a weighted on base percentage of 280. K rate on the season, 25%. How about the K rate though, Ben? Over the past 30 days, elevated to 33%. That's pretty impressive at this point. So I'm going to give the nod to the Baltimore Orioles in this game. I like the lineup better. And Sonny Gray, if this was 2 weeks ago, we'd be taking St. Louis because how dominant he was. A little bit leaky as of late. So I'm going to lean towards those Baltimore Orioles today.
DRS, the best team in the American League Central, that's the Cleveland Guardians. 30 wins, second most in the American League, only behind the Yankees. The Guardians back home, minus 126. Home money line favorite. Cleveland was home over the weekend, and a sweep over Minnesota, but minus 126 favorite to start off this midweek series against the New York Mets. Over under 8.5. Now, listen, the Mets did get a victory yesterday, but the New York Mets have not been great here in the month of May. They avoid a sweep against the Marlins yesterday in Miami with a victory 7-3 in the finale. The Mets entered May with a winning record. They are now 4 games below 500 at 21 and 25. They have lost 11 of their last 17. Can the Amazons start to right the ship against the best team in the AL Central?
Yeah, maybe if they sit Diaz down as their closer, it's been horrendous over the past week here. That usually helps when you have a lockdown closer, which they figured they had here. But the Cleveland Guardians and the Mets today, you take a look at that total, probably leaning more towards the over. Ben Lively will be on the mound on the season, 197 ISO weighted on base percentage, 325, which is right about average. But that ISO power number has kicked up a little bit to lefties over the past 30 days to a 267. So Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo on that lineup, Beatty, and McNeil, along with Narvaez, might be some RBI shots. Let's flip it over to the other side and take a look at Tyler McGill on the mound. Only 18 batters he's faced this year. Doesn't have very good statistics, so it's hard to go over. But having said that, going up against right-handed pitching over the past 30 days for those Cleveland Guardians, they've been really good, Ben. Look at the first 6 guys in that lineup: Freeman, Jimenez, Ramirez, Naylor, Fry, and Brennan. 350, 322, 347, 336, 332, and 329 here, all with low K percentages as well. Slightly towards the Guardians, but I actually think we get some runs here in this game. I'll take the over the total here.